Is your chiropractic business going to survive this coronavirus epidemic? Man, I sure hope so. It actually scares me to think about how many chiropractors, how many of us are not going to make it through this. And that's why I am live every morning, every weekday morning, 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time, trying to give you some tips and tactics and strategies to get you through this time, as well as help you to recover very, very quickly when we're done. So the other thing I've also done is put together a chiropractor survival guide, which is almost ready to be released, not quite yet. I will let you know how to access that here right after the break. Well, that video didn't work very well now, did it? Okay, anyways, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Dr. Scott. As you can see, I have changed locations. I am in the new Chiro Launch headquarters, which is almost done. It's actually complete as far as finished. It's kind of white box right now. That's why I put this little curtain up so you can see it. I think I like the dramatic lighting though. I'm just not ready to reveal it quite yet, but I will be soon. Probably next week you'll get a good view of all of this, which I am really, really excited about. So hopefully all the audio and everything's okay, because I have not had a chance to test this since I just moved down late last night. Let's see here, make sure everything's going good here. Today is the recap show. So as I said, well, first and foremost, question of the day, and I always forget which way to point, right up there. Do you have any outdoor plans for the weekend? Anything going on? Are you going to get out of the house, out of the office? Anything you're going to do exciting this weekend? Put that in the comments down below for me, please. Another thing to put in the comments, if you are interested in that chiropractor survival guide that I'm putting together, do something in the comments separate from answering the question of the day. I always point the wrong way. Mirrored. Separate from answering the question of the day. So just say yes, maybe a little emoji that raises their hand, whatever you want to. If you're interested in the chiropractor survival guide, make note of it down below. Also answer the question of the day, which is, do you have any outdoor plans for the weekend? Hector says my audio sounds good, which makes me very, very happy. So fantastic. I got a pretty cool little setup. In fact, this entire, again, most of you know that Chiro Launch headquarters was in my garage, burned to the ground on November 3rd. And ever since then, we've been kind of throwing things together. Finally got the basement finished, which is the new Chiro Launch headquarters. You can see the windows right there. It's actually a walkout basement, so I got a nice little patio out there. I'm really, really excited about the opportunity to work down here. This basement was designed with Coffee with Dr. Scott in mind. So we will have a little coffee station over there. Anyways, I'll give you the reveal next week. Again, we're still going to be building. You're going to get to see it grow as we go here. John says he's building a raised bed garden for his wife, which, come on over to my place next. We've been trying to grow gardens. We just have so many trees in our backyard. I really can't grow anything. So every year for 9 years, I've tried to grow a garden, tried raised beds, tried everything, just can't make it happen. So excuse me for a second. So I've given up on the garden this year, especially with everything we got going on. Even though that is a project I would enjoy, I've given up on that. Anyways, this is so I got everything out there, right? Survival guide, comments down below, answer the question, outdoor plans for the weekend. Again, this being the recap show, we're going to go over the things that we talked about this week. If anybody has any questions or comments about anything, please let me know in the comments. Also, all of the links to all of the shows are in the description. So if you're watching this for the first time or you just stumbled across me and you want to access any more of this information, please go there to check them out. Let's see here. Okay, yes. So on Monday, we gave away High Performance Chiropractor Secret number 3. So we've been discussing these. This is just something I've put together over, 15 years of practice, 9 years of consulting, 10 years of consulting now, almost 11. Things that separate high performance chiropractors from, I don't want to use a word there, but chiropractors who struggle, I guess, who get stuck in a place and aren't able to jump over the next level. So I've been sharing these secrets. This is the third one we're working on. And high performance chiropractors just think beyond what common sense would allow. That's a long way of saying that they don't accept what seems reasonable and rational. They think beyond that. And I made it very, very clear, and I think the one point I like to make in that saying is that, is my lighting really kind of weird? I'll have to fix that here as we go as well. That lets people think that anything is possible, and that's not true. You see that out there on the social medias. You see people telling you that from the stage, that anything is possible. It's not. There are limits, but the one good thing you can count on is that your limits, your actual limits, are far beyond your perceived limits. So we restrain ourselves. I'm not saying that anything is possible, but what is possible, what's right within your reach, is so cool that it would blow your mind. So I want you to think beyond. When you start setting your goals, especially for recovery after this coronavirus epidemic or whatever it might be, and you're like, oh, I can get here, realize you can probably get a lot more than that. And I want you to go after it. So that was Monday's show. Tuesday, we talked about closing open loops, which is it's almost a passion of mine. I hate open loops. I can't stand them. If I ask a question and it doesn't get answered, I want that answer. So anything that's open loop with me, which again, right now I've got a lot of them just because of the fire and everything that's going on around here. And now a lot of projects. One of the reasons I have that curtain there is I don't want you to see outside, because we've done the whole outside of our house. We've done the whole basement, and all of the junk is sitting there. We should go to the dumpster here this weekend or next week, so I can finally show that off. So anyways, closing open loops. It's just something that at this time I think is really, really important. If you've gone through and done the physical spring cleaning that we talked about 2 weeks ago, the mental spring cleaning we talked about last week, this is a good time to close open loops. And that doesn't just go for physical things. It doesn't just go for the mess outside my window that needs to be cleaned up in order for me to process. It doesn't just go for the messy desk. It means, like I said, if you have some old grudges or stuff that's just bothering you that you think about on a daily basis, it wakes you up in the middle of the night, go close those loops. If you have projects that are undone, yes, go finish them and get them out of the way. Obviously, this is a good time to do it so that we can recover afterwards. As I mentioned earlier, we're doing the Chiropractor Survival Guide, which if you're interested, put some sort of comment down below. And that's going to show you how to prepare yourself. I mentioned in the intro that, unfortunately, not all chiropractors are going to make it through this. And I want you to. And that Chiropractor Survival Guide is going to show you the things that you can do right now in these next few weeks, because I don't know how long this thing's going to last. Like, they keep saying things, right? It looks like it might be even longer than we originally thought. But I want you to do the things now that will help you to be able to recover faster than anybody else, and be able to get back to your normal faster, so that we don't have as many concerns when that time comes. So closing up loops is a big part of that. Make sure you get those things done. See where I'm at here. There we go. On Wednesday, we talked about perfect case acceptance, which I'm getting a lot of feedback from people that are new to me, that are new to the show, and they're kind of, I don't think they watched the first show where I said when I say perfect case acceptance, people tell me that's not realistic, but it is realistic, and I've seen it. And then when I sent out an email on Wednesday, I got a couple responses back from docs who are very mature in practice, really high performance chiros, that mentioned that they felt like that came. I was saying you had to sell your patients, and I'm saying, well, yeah, you do have to sell. You have to present, but it's exactly the opposite. You have to have patience with your patients. And although last week we talked about there's no selling in healthcare, although you do have to sell, you do have to present a case, you do have to close, and I hate that word. You have to offer something to them. It is not about selling. It's not about hard pushing. It's not about overcoming objections. You have to be patient, understanding that the patient will happily give you all of your recommendations. They will give you all of that care if you're patient with them. If you push here, if at this point someone has a little bit of hesitancy and you're not patient with them, and you push, they will get all of that care with another chiropractor, and we don't want that. So patience, being able to meet the patient where they're at, accept their current level of healthcare consciousness, help them to move one step along the continuum of healthcare consciousness without overwhelming them, and you will soon, maybe not soon, it might take years, but they will become your patient, you will become their doctor, and you will be able to guide them along that path. If you force it now, you'll never get that opportunity. So that was the key to patience with your patients. I see Todd has joined us, Dennis, Patrick, and Athanasios. Athanasios, if I'm not saying that right, please let me know. I see you on the show every morning. I want to make sure I get your name right. So I might have to go to your Facebook profile and see that pronunciation up there. Let's see. Hector says he's maybe cutting the lawn on the pink lawnmower. You have a pink lawnmower? I'm going to need a picture of that in the comments down below. Todd, Dennis, Patrick, Athanasios. Question of the day is, any outdoor plans for the weekend? Yes, it's up there still. Let me know what you got going on there below. And again, if you're watching this on the replay and you're interested in that chiropractic survival guide, just raise your hand or say yes down below. I should have that out by Monday or Tuesday of next week. And then last this week, we talked about, yes, consumerism versus practicism. So I was just mentioning in perfect case acceptance that patients will happily give you all of the care, all of the recommendations that you have if you're patient with them. I always like to make it clear when we talk about referral mastery that patients will also happily give you all the referrals you could possibly handle. They come into your office wanting to refer to you. And your job, just like in patients with your patients for perfect case acceptance, is to think about what they want, is to give them what they want, is to not screw it up. Because again, they come in wanting to refer. So if you can raise your level of consumerism, made up word, basically just means focusing on what the consumer, actually I did look it up, it is a word, but it's more about buying social goods. In this case, I mean it to be focused on the patient's wants and needs. And if you do focus on those patients' wants and needs and give them what they want and need, they will go out and tell everybody about you because that's what they want to do. They come in predisposed to do that. They want to tell everybody about the greatest new thing. So if they come in and you don't disappoint them, and above and beyond that, you play some offense and actually surprise them with your customer service, with everything about the 6 referral essence components: cost, convenience, control, comfort, compassion, and competence. If you can be excellent in those 6 things and work on them now during this coronavirus downtime so that you are prepared with your consumerism as the time goes on and we get out of this thing, and everybody else in town, the point I made yesterday was that left to themselves, every practice moves towards practicism, which means doing what the doctor wants, like cutting hours, getting rid of a Friday, not practicing Saturdays anymore. That was my thing when I was back in practice. All those things that we do because for our lifestyle, and I'm not saying don't get me wrong, you got to weigh those things. But when you do those things, you lose some consumerism. And when you lose consumerism, you lose some referrals. How hard you push people, like we talked about a second ago, that's all going to affect your referrals. So consumerism versus practicism. You want to lean towards consumerism, which is an uphill battle. Again, natural tendency is to go towards practicism. So we have to put some effort in to get towards consumerism to make sure we get all the referrals our practice can possibly handle and therefore have a sustainable business. All right, so that was this week on the show. I thought it was a great week. Hopefully you did as well. If you did, make sure you hit that little thumbs up button. Also, make sure you answer the question of the day and let me know if you want that chiropractor survival guide, which will be coming out next week, which will show you all the things that you should be working on right now to not just survive this zombie apocalypse, but actually come out of it hopefully better off. Give you some time to work on the things you need to work on, and you needed to work on anyway. Take advantage of this. I think of this a lot like a new practitioner going into practice, and they spend so much time painting their own walls and doing these things that they don't do the things that they should do. And then once they get their first patient, they're so busy taking care of patients that they still don't work on those things. I always say hire someone to paint. You work on yourself so that you're ready to grow. This is a time where you should be working on yourself, working on your systems, your procedures so that you come out of this well. I'm here to help you do that every morning, every weekday morning, 8 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and also with that chiropractor survival guide. Again, just raise your hand down below to get that. Talk to you all Monday morning. Have a great weekend.